Caligula is the subject of legends that are still told today. What did the craziest Roman emperor do? We will show you in this video. Welcome to our channel, where we bring you the craziest and weirdest facts from human history. Some of the things that happened during Caligula's reign sound too absurd to be true, but there is evidence that supports them. He ascended to the throne in 37 AD amid public jubilation, only for his reign to quickly reveal a terrifying descent into perversion and absolute tyranny. The suspicious death of his father when Caligula was 2 years old, allegedly orchestrated by the future emperor Tiberius, set a precedent for the poisonous atmosphere of courtly intrigue that would define his life. When Caligula was 3, his mother, Agrippina, the elder, sent him to live with his great-uncle, Emperor Tiberius. Initially, his accession was welcomed with relief as he ended his great-uncle's despised reign and brought back to Rome the image of a young, dynamic leader. However, within months of taking office, he revealed the darkness that lay beneath his charming exterior. Both historians claim that Caligula chained women to chariots like horses and whipped them as they pulled him around. This boat was 180 feet long, over 45 meters, which was larger than the ship that Noah built according to the Bible. The site of this feast was chosen specifically to remind the aristocrats of the civil war that had taken place there a few years earlier. Although it is not entirely clear what this position entailed, it is believed that the horse was appointed to the Senate. There is even evidence that Caligula planned to award his horse with the title of Caesar and build a temple in his honor. This action, intended to demonstrate his divine status, almost triggered a revolt, demonstrating the precarious balance between imperial authority and religious tolerance. To appease the Jews, he then commissioned a new coin with the inscription restored by the divine providence. He hosted feasts, inviting people with contagious diseases such as leprosy, and enjoyed throwing gold coins from towers, gleefully watching as the poor fought over the riches. He also chained men to chariots, like horses, and whipped them as they pulled him around, finding perverse pleasure in dominating and humiliating his victims. Why? Because he liked the horse so much. One of his most notorious acts was chaining women to chariots like horses and whipping them as they pulled him around. The historical record indicates that he assembled an elite team of killers, known as the Praetorian Guard, to eliminate his enemies. He is believed to have murdered around 40 senators and many others, including some influential Christians. While some of the accounts of his deeds may be exaggerated, it is evident that he exhibited signs of insanity and an inability to distinguish between right and wrong. For example, he kept dangerous wild animals in his bedroom and unleashed poisonous snakes into the audience at gladiator games, laughing as the crowds fell victim to poisonous bites. He chained 8 women to chariots, while he feasted at the campus martias and released poison-tipped arrows into the audience, killing and injuring many before ordering the gates closed. Yet his story also offers valuable insights into the psychology of absolute power, the complexities of familial relationships, and the dangers of religious fanaticism. Exploring his legacy allows us to confront the darkest aspects of human nature and serves as a reminder of the importance of accountability and the consequences of unchecked ambition. According to history books, it happened after he ordered the execution of Cassius, a tribune of the Praetorian Guard, after mistreating him in public. Thanks for watching. Cassius Sharia conspired with other Praetorian soldiers, and on January of that year, they broke into Caligula's private chambers and stabbed him multiple times. Allegedly, Caligula called out to his wife while bleeding, "The curse of the Julian family has struck again." Caligula's wife and children were executed along with him. This dark spectacle of death and suffering was only surpassed by his sadistic banquets held in taverns and brothels. The historian Cassius Dio claimed that Caligula appointed Incitus as consul because no man was worthy of the honor. Whether the appointment was real or fictitious, the story highlights Caligula's bizarre behavior and eccentric personality. She died of exhaustion after standing perfectly still for 3 days. He published an epic poem titled The Life of Caligula and was considered handsome with a captivating smile. However, these redeeming features were overshadowed by his monstrous and inhumane acts, making him one of the most hated Roman emperors. A group of men had attempted to assassinate Augustus and set fire to Rome. During the banquet, Caligula chained 8 men to chariots like horses and whipped them as they pulled him around. He also chained 8 women to chariots. While enjoying the sight, he let loose poison-tipped arrows into the audience. After killing or injuring many people, he then ordered the gates to be closed, trapping everyone inside. Then he watched with amusement as the crowd panicked and fell victim to poisonous fumes. According to history books, Caligula threw gold coins from a tower, enjoying the sight of common folk fighting over the riches. It cost 3 million sesterces to build, equivalent to about $45 million today. The boat was equipped with every imaginable luxury and featured its own brothel, stable, aviary, gymnasium, and gardens. He chained women to chariots like horses and whipped them as they pulled him around. He delighted in throwing gold coins from a tower, reveling in the sight of common folk fighting over the riches. Furthermore, Caligula reportedly turned the imperial palace into a brothel, forcing the wives of nobles, and even men of only one type, bald, short or fat, to serve as prostitutes. If anyone refused to participate in sexual acts, they were put to death. Caligula is also said to have prostituted himself in taverns and brothels, where he dressed as a woman and solicited other women. Supposedly, he hosted strange feasts, inviting 8 bald men of short stature and 8 short fat men. Many of Caligula's relatives met untimely ends, often at the behest of his grandmother, Julia Misa. They say that Caligula loved his sister so much that he built a tomb for her next to his own and tried to resurrect her after she died. He is also said to have practiced incest with his sister, referring to her as his wife and having her deified. But whether the rumors about his relationship with Drusilla were true or exaggerated by his enemies is unknown. Some scholars claim that the stories about Caligula's incest and depravity are unreliable. Nevertheless, we know that Caligula constructed several temples dedicated to his sister, and took significant steps to integrate her cult into official state religion. He placed her next to his parents on their altars and issued coinage in her honor. He also ordered all free women throughout the empire to become priestesses in her cult. The exact nature of the relationship between Caligula and Drusilla remains uncertain. These deaths included his grandmother Julia Misa, his grandfather, and his aunt and uncle, Drusus. All of them were suspected of conspiring against Tiberius. His own father died suddenly after a mysterious illness, leading many to believe he was poisoned by Tiberius. And his older brother Nero perished in an equestrian accident. In fact, Caligula was the only child of Germanicus and Agrippina who survived, remembered as a figure of extreme depravity, cruelty, and madness. Caligula's story continues to fascinate and horrify. Just keep watching until the end to find out why. Caligula, born Gaius Julius Caesar Augustus Germanicus in 12 AD, remains one of history's most infamous Roman emperors. Tiberius was so disgusting, he preferred to urinate on statues of beautiful women rather than enjoy their company in person. As a result, it is believed that Caligula was largely raised by prostitutes and courtesans. Even after Caligula married his cousin Julia Drusilla, the couple couldn't consummate their marriage because he physically couldn't perform. Instead, Caligula took lovers of both sexes and dressed as a woman to prostituted himself in taverns and brothels. Thus, Caligula developed a taste for nightlife and debauchery at an early age. The son of the beloved general Germanicus, Caligula's early life was marked by tragedy and political intrigue. At 19, Caligula was brought to the island of Capri to live with Emperor Tiberius, who was notorious for his debauchery and cruelty. In 37 AD, Tiberius died and Caligula became the emperor of Rome at the age of 25. While it was reported that Caligula had a love affair with a woman named Miriam, it was his relationship with his sister Drusilla that shocked the Roman elites. A large part of his notorious reputation stems from the accounts of Suetonius and Cassius Dio, 2 Roman historians known for sensationalizing events to make a more compelling story. One of Caligula's most shocking acts was the construction of a pleasure boat named the Nero. According to history books, Caligula's most famous banquet was held in the Campus Martius. Another story about Caligula involved him choosing a horse named Inset. As his mental health deteriorated, Caligula became increasingly cruel and erratic in his behavior. In 39 AD, Caligula decided to declare himself a living god and commanded the Jews in his empire to erect a statue of him in the Jewish temple in Jerusalem. He indulged in extravagant spending, maintaining a fleet of yachts, hosting lavish feasts, and showering gold coins on beggars. Caligula's disturbing behavior extended to his obsession with filth and disease. His insane demands led to the deaths of many people, including a woman named Melonia, who was ordered by Caligula to have a golden statue made of her while she was still alive. Surprisingly, Caligula possessed some positive qualities, such as being a gifted orator and writer. In 41 AD, Caligula was assassinated by members of his own Praetorian Guard. Even though many scholars doubt the accuracy of all the stories about Caligula's horrific actions, his reputation as a cruel and depraved ruler remains intact. Caligula's reign was indeed a period of horror in Roman history. What did you think of the video? Let us know in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more videos.